Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing a book review video. I have 6 books and they were all mostly good. So let's get right into it. So this one is A Flower Shop Mystery. It's by Kate Collins and it's called Snipped in the Bud. This is what it looks like, and I always love how these mystery series always have punny titles. I think it's so funny. It's about this woman named um Abby, and she owns this flower shop, and she goes to this law school where she used to be a student there, but then she quit to become a florist, and here she finds one of the law professors dead in his in another professor's office. And it's one of the professors that she has fought with in the past, so everybody thinks that she's the one that did it, and all these people are coming to her flowers shop to protest it and boycott it and stuff like that. And it was a really good book. I really like this series. I read a couple of these books before, so it really wasn't that it really wasn't like I didn't like the books or anything. So yeah, that was that book. That book was really good. I don't know, they go in some sort of order, but I always read them as I get them, except I always try to read the last book in the series last. So this one was just okay, but it was still good. It's a chocoholic mystery, and it's the Chocolate Bear Burglary. It's by Joanna Carl, and this is what it looks like. And the chapters in this book were really long in it compared to the Flower Shop Mystery. No, Flower Shop Mystery, the chapters were kind of moderate, but then a couple of chapters were longer. And this is about a woman who works at her family's chocolate shop, and her name is Lee, and she gets a call that somebody's trying to rob her at her house, and it turns out to be her stepson. And what happens is these molds from the chocolate shop that she works at goes missing during the book, and everybody thinks it was her stepson who has a bad rap and everything, and it turns out it was somebody else, and it was a shocking ending. Sometimes I can try to figure out who did it, and in this book I really didn't, because I thought it was the stepson, but it wasn't, so there was a little spoiler alert. I don't have any more of these books, I don't think. I don't know, I really didn't think that it was a good book. I mean, I'm not a good book. I don't feel like it was a series I'd pick up and read again. And they're making these chocolate bears for this fundraiser type of thing, and one of the bear molds is the one that goes missing. Okay, this book, it was actually, I was reading another book and I didn't like it, so I stopped reading it and I picked up this one. This one I got at Target, and you can probably still get it there, and it's called The Tattooist of Auschwitz. And Auschwitz, if you guys didn't know, was this concentration camp where during World War One, I think it was, or two. Hold on. No, World War Two, I think it was. Hold on. I always get, yeah, World War Two. I always get I know what happens in each of the world wars, but I always screw them up. So this is World War Two, and the Jewish people have to go to these concentration camps where they get horrible things done to them. And this is based on a true story. The author just wrote it. She wasn't part of the story. It's by Heather Morris, and this is what it looks like. And it was a really good book. It's about this man who goes to this concentration camp, at his will, at his free will. He doesn't like get shoved into it or stuff like that. And he ends up becoming the guy who tattoos the numbers on the Jewish people as they're coming into this camp, or two camps. He works at two camps. And it's just his story of being there. And he finds this woman, and this woman, she's kind of pessimistic. She's like, I don't want to fall in love with you. You never know what's going to be tomorrow or how tomorrow's going to end or whatever. And it was a really good book. I really wish they would make this into like some sort of movie or something, or even like a documentary kind of thing. I don't know, because it was a really good book. I didn't think I was going to like it, because I mean, it doesn't talk in depth about what happens to them. A lot of the stuff, he was building, when he first got there, he was actually building onto the camp, and then he was making the crematorium buildings and all this stuff. And it shows you in the book that there's also a lot of people who are there that aren't Jewish. There's gypsies that are there. There's people that actually come into the camp to work. And then they can leave the camp because they're not Jewish or anything like that. And it was a really good book. I highly recommend reading this. So this one, instead of reading a biography like I've been doing, or on a biography/autobiography in my books, I just wanted to read this one. It's not really a biography. Well, it kind of sort of is, I guess you could say. It's called The Art Treasures in the British Isles, and there's no author to this book. It just has an introduction by Sir Philip Hendy. It's a McGraw-Hill book company, and it's basically it's kind of like an art history kind of book, where it goes in order from cave paintings to the 90s. I think it only goes up to the 90s, the 1990s or something like that. So it's not a current art book, but this is what it looks like. It has a picture of one of the queens on it. I think it's Queen Elizabeth II. I mean, not Queen Elizabeth II, Queen Elizabeth I. And this is what it looks like. And like I said, it's just a regular book. It talks about the history. Now, if you read this book, it's kind of like a coffee table read kind of book, because a lot of the chapters are really long in it, but they do at the end of the book have chapter examples and stuff like that. And it's basically a book that has a lot of words on a page. So if you don't like that, I highly recommend you don't read it. I mean, I read it in a day and it gave me a headache, but I was like, this book should only take me a day to read, because it's not it didn't have that many pages in it, I should say. So this next book it doesn't have anything to do with any it's not like the Auschwitz book where it's based on a true story. This is just a historical fiction, or maybe just a regular fiction book. It's called Echoes of Titanic, and Titanic was a big ship that sunk due to an iceberg, and it's by Mindy Starns Clark and John Campbell Clark. I don't know if they are married. I was gonna say, I didn't know if they were married or not, but they are. I didn't know if they were siblings or whatever, but they are married. And the funniest thing was I'm going back into my old book review videos, and I'm rearranging some stuff in the videos, titling the videos different, putting the books in the descriptions. And the girl who wrote it, Mindy Stars Clark, I read a book by her that wasn't even in this. It was an Amish book. So this is totally a 180 from that. And it's about this woman. It goes back and forth between 1912 and 2012. It's about this woman who she was on the Titanic. She survived, and she built this family company, this wealthy business. And that was 1912 and 2012. It was her great granddaughter is taking over the business, and this guy, as she gets some kind of award, says that she's a liar, that her great great grandmother wasn't who she said she was. She was actually her, she's an imposter, and she's actually her cousin that was on the ship with her, because her great great grandmother was there with herself, her cousin, and her uncle, because they were gonna, her great great grandmother was gonna go and live with her dad in America. And obviously she did that, but her uncle and her cousin didn't make it. So the whole book is about trying to figure out if this person is saying what they're saying is true. Like, oh, is this person actually related to her? And is this person actually right, saying that her great great grandmother just took the role of being her cousin over? But the one thing you have to say is there's a lot of like non-dialogue pages. Like sometimes there's like hardly any in a chapter, so it kind of, it was good, but that was the one thing I had a problem with, was that it was like so hard when you read a book and there's not a lot of dialogue in it. At least for me, it was mostly like setting up stuff, like describing a lot of stuff or what she was thinking and stuff like that. So it really wasn't that great of a book unless you like it, and it took a while to get through. Like there was 385 chapters in it, and there was like 385 pages and 54 chapters in it, plus an epilogue and a prologue. And the ending of it was really, it was kind of like a whole wrap up of the whole entire book. Like they find out who is responsible for doing this. And like I think like in the last like 5 chapters of the book. So the last chapter is like a really good ending to the book, and the epilogue is too. So this is another mystery series. I had a lot of mysteries in this book review video, and it's called Cracked to Death. It's a Webb's Glass Shop mystery series book, and it's by Cheryl Aollon. And I would get this series again. Like if I seen it, I would probably get it again. And this is what it looks like. It's about this woman who owns this glass shop, Webb's, that's the family name. And she's opening up this other like storage type of place where she could do extra projects. And that she used to do like these glass cutting, glass blowing type of classes, and now she's giving it over to this other woman, and one of her students in her classes gets murdered after she finds out that he goes like in, he's a diver that goes, I forget what they call it, but it's a diver that goes into the water and looks for like old bottles to use for projects of their own. And he finds, before he dies, he finds these blue old bottles, and she is helping her, and the owner, Savannah and Amanda are trying to figure out why did he die over these bottles. And it was a good story. I really liked it, and it was just a nice story. Like it went at a nice pace for me, and that was it. And the person in the book that you think might be the person that did this is probably the person that did it. Like halfway through the book, a character comes along and you're like, oh yeah, like this person had to have done it. And they did. I'm not gonna say who it was, but you guys know I really try not to like give out the endings of the books. So I'll see you guys next time with another video, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.